Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Carl Fitzpatrick.
Southeast Radio.
Deliveroo has the enviable status of being a brand which is instantly recognisable to the masses, but until now it has not been available in the Southeast. However, that is set to change with the announcement recently that it is expanding into Waterford. Paddy Quinlan is the growth manager with Deliveroo, and he joins me now to discuss their expansion. Paddy, I'd like to start the interview by hearing a little bit about your own career.
Thanks, Carl. I've been with Deliveroo since 2017. I've worked across the UK and I business, loving it so far, and I'm the growth manager for Ireland here. Before Deliveroo, I spent about 5 years working with the startup sector in Dublin and across Europe.
And what attracted you to the role with Deliveroo?
It's a great question. Near the end of my time in my previous role, I spent some time starting my own company and realised that there were some gaps in my knowledge on the operations side, and Deliveroo was a product that I absolutely loved and was spending a lot of my wages on anyway. And there was some roles in the operations team to join, and I found why not join a rocket ship and kind of learn from how the biggest companies scale. So it was a kind of a match made in heaven from that side.
Now, of course, Deliveroo is a massive brand globally, but it might not be known to too many people here at a local level in Wexford. So provide us with an insight into the business.
Globally, we've been around since 2013. It was our founder, Will Shue, launched Deliveroo in London, where he got the idea that he just wanted to get great food delivered from amazing restaurants. And that essentially is our principle, that we're customer obsessed and that we're all about food. So that's what helps us grow to kind of where we are now. At a global level, we've 115,000 restaurants and we've got 100,000 riders. At the Irish level, we're in four cities, soon to be 5 with Waterford, and we've got almost 2,000 restaurants and over 1,000 riders, where we're finding it going exceptionally well, and we're really excited about the opportunity in Waterford City.
To what extent has the pandemic accelerated the growth here in Ireland?
It's a great question. I think what we have, like we through the pandemic have seen ourselves in a position to be a partner for growth for the restaurants that we have, especially during the pandemic, to help them to facilitate the growth that they would have had. Wouldn't have had with this without it. I think one of the big factors that we've seen over the pandemic was we started partnering with grocery retailers, with Aldi as one, where we started with 2 stores and now we've got 18. Having that extra offering as an option to have your groceries delivered in 30 minutes really just maybe step change our position in the Irish market, and it's one we're finding very, very exciting.
So ultimately, speed is the currency, is it?
Service, I think really what's involved in there, where we're hungry and we're waiting for food and we don't know where it is and we don't know how long it'll take. I think real food's an emotional subject, so speed is a big part of it, but also like making sure it arrives on time and in a good condition. Yeah.
And does the quality assurance of that cause you much of a problem? For instance, restaurants letting you down, not having food ready on time for the rider?
No, not so. So we have a dedicated team of account managers who would work with restaurants to help them to kind of transition towards delivery. So it's something that like we're experts in. We do hundreds of thousands of orders around the world every day. So we're best placed to help these restaurants to be able to do those deliveries. So not really.
And what are usually the pain points for restaurants when they're not able to keep up with the demand?
It's something that we would tend to see around kind of the busiest periods. But we have a lot of things in the app that allow restaurants to help to kind of manage the flow of orders. And as I said, really us being able to help restaurants to predict when they're going to be busy and to kind of help them to achieve best-in-class solutions for avoiding that happening would be more the position. I think that we'd be looking to we'd look to help make sure that it works for both the restaurants and customers. So wouldn't rather than any specific one thing.
And of course, it's quite a competitive market now with Uber Eats and Just Eat. So how do you manage to compete against those other two and stay ahead of the competition?
I think you touched on it. We touched on it earlier on. I think like Deliveroo, we're obsessed with the customer. We really look to separate ourselves on the service side and try to ensure that the customers get a best in class experience.
So do you have specific metrics that a location must satisfy before evaluating its potential as a new market?
Yeah, it's a complex kind of situation. We would look at things, we look at the demographic, the partners that we would have in the area, the restaurant selection in the area, the kind of the local food scene, and any kind of anything from our side where we can see that any kind of customer data about customers in the area asking us to be there. So it's kind of a matrix of things. But yeah, we're very excited for Waterford to be the next one.
So as you say, it was recently announced that Deliveroo would be expanding into the southeast and starting with Waterford as a new location. Mm-hmm. So what specific factors contributed to this decision?
Waterford, it's a city. I suppose it's the next biggest city, and really, as I said, that'll be one part of it. And then also, it has a really strong food scene and a good kind of good selection of our restaurants. So I think it'd be those three really though combined that make the pick it as be the next place.
Now, you spoke earlier about your partnership with supermarkets during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Is there plans in Deliveroo to develop on that concept, creating new partnerships as time goes on?
I think Deliveroo is always open to every opportunity. I think that we do work at the minute with sites in the Centra or some Spars and some Mace, so that we're open to. We've seen tremendous growth in the space, and we're having conversations with a lot of partners. But we're always open to offering the customers the best in class selection. So we wouldn't say no to anybody at the minute. The
topical area as well, of course, is in relation to the employment situation regarding gig workers, gig economy workers, such as those working for Deliveroo and others. What's your take on that in terms of where that's going to go in Ireland over the coming years?
So I think the model. The model that Deliveroo puts out is we have our riders are self-employed, and that's driven by their want for genuine flexibility. And I think that's one of the main pieces to be conscious of, that we have dedicated teams that speak to riders all of the time, and we've done surveys where over 85% of riders are saying very, very happy with the kind of the flexibility that they offer. And I think that's really the position of it, that this flexibility allows you to be a student in, say, WIT during the day, and then work in the evening, or pick and choose your hours based around training or study or kind of anything like that. So I think we've shown it's a really, really robust model, and something that we've got, as I said, we've got over 1,000 riders, so we've got a lot of people who really enjoy doing it.
And what do you envisage to be the challenges for Deliveroo over the coming years here in Ireland?
I would say one of the realities, I think I talked about earlier on, that this is the first new launch in 5 years. So there's a lot of opportunities, and we're really only kind of getting started in Ireland. So I suppose it's the challenges would be that there's so much to do and so little time in which to do it, which is a great challenge to have, but it's kind of both challenge and opportunity.
And in terms of your roadmap over the coming years, is Wexford going to feature on that? And what will we have to do to get Deliveroo here in Wexford?
It's a great. I've got family. I've got family in Rosslare, so it's not the first time I've asked that. I think I would say the reality is that like this is Waterford is not going to be the last place we're expanding to. Like, we are now committing to expanding to a number of other places. So I think Waterford will be the first market launched, and then from there we'll be evaluating every other opportunity from there. But I think just bide your time, and we'll come to you.
We look forward to that. And of course, in relation to that also, just talking about the way in which deliveries are conducted by riders today, Paddy, are you also considering deliveries by drone at this point in time, and maybe partnering with an Irish company like Manna?
It's a great question. I think the stuff that Manna are doing is really interesting. I think for now, really, really focus on offering the kind of that best-in-class proposition for riders. So but that's where we want to focus our efforts. So that's kind of where I would say yourselves for the medium term anyway.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Paddy Quinlan from Deliveroo, and hopefully this expansion will mark the start of a successful relationship with the South East region.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Carl Fitzpatrick.
South